Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I know that you're already typing a comment in the comments about my shirt. Just get it all out there, and we'll just go on with the video as usual. So, hey, new study popping out, and Metal Injection is reporting on it. A bunch of Brits they interviewed for this study, talking about that essentially over 30, you pretty much stop discovering new music. You stop. You end it. The fun is over. It's done. It's kaput. It's fini. And I've long theorized on this channel that this trend of people turning 30 and then they stop listening to new music would slowly die out with the internet sort of making it easier for people to listen to sort of genres of music and styles that they enjoy, and they don't necessarily lose touch with the kind of music and bands that they like. Because hey, if you're a heavy metal fan, if you're a old school hip hop fan, if you're a bluegrass fan, if you're a jazz fan, the internet kind of gives you the ability to find an endless amount of people continuing to make those genres. Not only that, but also discover older music within those genres too. So with that very convenient tool of music discovery, I thought, hey, since no longer are traditional media and the radio the gatekeepers for the kind of music that people are listening to day in and day out for the most part, of course, people are naturally going to start listening to and discovering newer music deeper into old age. However, it would seem that is not turning out to be the case. I have a sneaking suspicion that as this millennial generation grows older, and it's now getting to the point where the millennials are deep into their 20s, some of them are pushing 30s. I'm past 30 myself. I'm considered a millennial in the time that I was born. It seems that most millennials have ceased to discover new music. And I guess personally, out of all the people who I know, who I grew up with, that has mostly been the case so far. I don't know a whole lot of people who I grew up with in high school or I knew from my college days who are still like kind of continually discovering new music. There are some anomalies, there are some exceptions rather. Some people who I know who still go to concerts, still go to shows, still listen to pop music, still listen to newer, younger artists and sort of see what they have to offer. But for the most part, I would say this whole trend of just growing older and sticking to whatever you knew when you were younger is still kind of taking hold, still going strong. And I just wonder if that's ever really going to break, and what all of you who obviously are so passionate about music think about exactly this. Let's read a little bit of the detail of the article over here. It says the survey asked 1,000 Brits and discovered not only that, but also discovered not only that, whatever was asserted, what was asserted in the first paragraph, but also that 24 years old is peak of you discovering new music to enjoy. The survey reveals that adults over 30 pretty much just stop looking for new music due to having kids or because they're just too busy or too much new music is out there. Let's see, the 1,000 surveyed also revealed that 60% of them felt like they were always listening to the same artists. 25% of them didn't want to hear stuff outside of their preferred genre. I'm not sure if this statistic is lower than it would have been with Generation X or the baby boomers and that sort of thing. Like, would it years ago had been like 80% of baby boomers or Gen Xers say that they don't listen to newer music, so on and so forth. Maybe, quite possibly. That could be the case, but we don't really have any comparison data here to sort of say, hey, this is an upward trend or a downward trend. But surely the 60% figure over here suggests that this trend is not going anywhere anytime soon. With a game changer like the internet, again, I previously assumed that would just kind of obliterate the whole desire to eventually tune out of what was ever happening in new music, and now it seems like it's still just gonna kind of continue. I don't know. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just kind of a thing. I guess in a way it's sad, but I mean, probably at the end of the day, the reason that it's happening is most people don't feel the same way about music that I do. So for them, it's probably not sad. For me, it's sad. If at 35, I just all of a sudden stopped caring about music and stopped caring about hearing music that that I didn't like listen to when I was in high school or college or something, that would be absolutely depressing. But for most people, maybe it's not as much of a priority, I guess, and that's just really all it kind of boils down to. But for the people who watch this channel and watch my reviews and probably consider themselves music nerds and music obsessives, what exactly do you think about this? Like, how old are you now, and how passionate do you think you are going to be about music once you hit this 36 months threshold? Do you instantaneously see yourself just kind of falling out of favor with music entirely, and all you're going to care about is the older stuff that you grew up with? Or are you going to continue to be curious about where music is going, where it's heading, how it's progressing? Again, let me know what you think down in the comments. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell as well. Anthony Fantano, Music Discovery, age of 30, forever.